Geocaching is one of the fastest growing outdoor hobbies in the world, and it started right here in Clackamas County. Now millions of people all over the globe are taking part in this high-tech treasure hunt. So what is geocaching? The term geocaching was coined in 2000 to describe an outdoor recreational activity using a global positioning system to find hidden containers called caches.
The basic description most people use for geocaching is a high-tech treasure hunt. They say we use multi-million-dollar satellites to find Tupperware hidden in the woods. And that is true. We are using government-developed, government-launched, billion-dollar equipment to go out and find trinkets that are in the woods or in the city.
A typical cache is a small waterproof container housing a logbook and a pin. Larger caches contain swag, small toys or trinkets that can be swapped. Before a cache can be found, someone needs to hide it and then share the GPS coordinates. Geocaching.com is the world's largest geocaching portal.
There are over 2.5 million caches on that website in over 200 countries around the world. You go to the website, you can do it at home on your home computer. Put in your zip code and it's going to bring up a list. And I always tell people, after you get the list, there's a little link that says map this location. And it'll bring up a map and you'll just be amazed. I tell people to do it and just see how many caches. There'll be 20, 30 caches within a mile of your home. And people just, they don't believe it.
Once you get the coordinates, you can add them to a GPS, which provides the most accurate directions. But of course, there are also plenty of geocaching apps as well.
Anybody with a smartphone that has a GPS locating function on it can use their phones. You can download a free app through geocaching.com's website once you set up your user profile, and this will allow you to hit a button, find local caches.
The app provides hints and tips, plus the terrain and difficulty of the cache, catering to every level of geocacher. As you can imagine, geocaching can be addicting. The small thrill of logging your first find quickly turns into a need to find another. And as your confidence grows, the caches get smaller and harder to find, creating more of a challenge.
This is called a bison tube. So it's just a little milled aluminum tube. They're threaded together. And they have a little O-ring, so it's watertight and water resistant, so there'll be a log inside of that. You'll take that out, sign the log, seal it back up, and then put it back where you found it. And these are pretty tiny, and sometimes these will come in camel colored as well, but you can hide these in some pretty tiny, clever places. A step up is a nanotube. This is actually a geocache. There's no room for swag, but there's a little tiny log in this. The bottom is magnetic, so these will be stuck on light poles, the back of signs, the bottom of hinges on doors. And just like the bison tube, this threads open and there's a little O-ring there to make it water resistant. Wow. And it's a little tiny log. This is nothing more than a utility plate. You might have it on outside of your garage, a junction box, but it's actually a geocache. These will be on a utility box on a street corner that thousands of people walk by every single day and not know that it's a geocache. What it is there'll be a magnet attached to it. So the log will be a folded up sheet of paper, usually in a little Ziploc bag, and it'll just be stuck to a utility box. And unless you know it's a geocache, you'll just walk right on by it.
And for those who take geocaching to the extreme, the hiding places get even more clever and bizarre. You need to put on your thinking cap in order to find this micro-cache. Persistence is key when hunting for this cache. What an illuminating new use for a film canister. You may want to take a gallon of water along for this creative cache. And have some batteries handy because some caches need a charge to be found. Sounds like a lot to learn, but everything you need to know can be found on the website geocaching.com, from how to get started to how to cache responsibly. And you can even learn about local geocaching events at OregonGeocaching.org. Here are some important geocaching terms you should know. This commemorative plaque just outside Estacada marks the spot where a Beaver Creek man named Dave Ulmer stashed the very first cache as a way of testing the accuracy of the GPS signal. That signal became available to civilians in the year 2000. He posted the cache coordinates online, and within 3 days it was found, and geocaching was born. Today in Oregon's Mount Hood territory, this treasure hunting pastime is stronger than ever. From the Mount Hood National Forest to the Willamette Valley Farms, it's an area that's ripe for exploration, and geocaching is the perfect way to discover all Clackamas County has to offer.
There are definitely thousands of caches in Clackamas County. Clackamas County, for one, geographically is a huge county, right, when you compare it to other counties around us. And one of the beautiful things I love about Clackamas County is there's so many open spaces in the county. And therefore, they're really, really prime locations for geocaches.
Not to mention what geocaching is doing for tourism. Recognizing this, Clackamas County Tourism and Cultural Affairs has partnered with many communities to create local geocaching challenges.
It's an organized activity that will bring people in from outside of the community to see the attractions and sites, heritage museums. It's a reason to come into a community when a family might not otherwise do it.
The geocaching program, it brings in people from out of town. So it means a lot to us in terms of people coming here, experiencing CANBY and the surrounding area, and actually spending their money here. And that's really the tie-in for the Chamber of Commerce, because it really is about commerce. We want them to visit our great little city here, but we also want our businesses to prosper, and that ties that loop.
A community geo challenge is one in which cachers must find and log a series of caches in order to claim a GeoCoin, a prize for completing the challenge. Because challenges are customized for each community, every cache presents an opportunity to draw people to the host community's unique points of interest, such as wineries, parks, heritage sites, and geologic features.
Everywhere we went was a new place that we didn't know about, a little bit of history of the area that we hadn't read about or heard about before.
All you have to do to get started is set up your profile on geocaching.com and then log into the Mount Hood Territory website.
We post all of our challenges on our tourism's website. You'll print off a form, and when you find the caches, there'll be a clue that you have to write down. So there's 10 caches per each challenge. And when you've filled out all of the clues, you'll go to a redemption center. One of the redemption centers here is at the end of the Oregon Trail. So during their office hours, you can redeem your form and get a coin. Or on off hours, you can go to a local coffee shop. Usually something that's open on the weekend, so there's accessibility.
It's great to have an activity that we can do as a family where we're all working together towards something, and it's exciting because it's like a treasure hunt. So everybody can kind of play a different part in how we find it and what we do when we get it. One of us always writes in a log, and one of us is the person who writes down the clues. So it's just kind of fun for all of us to be able to do that together.
The collectible coins cachers can earn by completing a challenge are a big part of the treasure.
So for each one of our coin challenges, this is the prize that people get for completing a coin challenge. They're unique to each community, and they have a unique tracking number.
Communities mint new coins for each new challenge. The images used on the coins highlight something unique about the host community or represent something it's known for.
This is the coin that we did celebrating Molala's centennial. It's got a wagon on there. It says Molala 1913 to 2013. So this is our 2013 coin challenge. This is for the Willamette Falls Heritage Area Coalition. We actually are at the end of the Oregon Trail in Oregon City, so this is one of the sites that you would have to hit, one of the cache sites that you'd have to hit to get this coin. And this is the coin that we did in 2014 for the city of Estacada. Gateway to Great Adventures, Estacada, Oregon.
It can take the better part of a day to hit all 10 cache sites to collect the code words needed to complete the log sheet. While they search for caches around CANBY, the visitors stop for lunch or coffee, especially at the local Starbucks, which also serves as a coin redemption site.
So 80% of the people really weren't from here, and when they came to visit here, one of the amazing things was how much they loved the CANBY community.
Clackamas County cache containers are marked with a sticker indicating what they are and are larger in size, allowing for more cache inside.
When we set up caches for our coin challenges, this is typically what we'll use. We'll use an ammo can, which we get at hardware stores. The nice thing about it is they're large enough to hold swag, the toys that people can pick up here, bring to another cache, or just keep. We'll refill these as the swag levels get down. And sometimes businesses will put goodies in there. You know, a credit union might put refrigerated magnets in or pens or something. Sometimes they'll sponsor hand sanitizer kits, little first aid kits, more toys. So this is typically what the county will do.
Clackamas County caches also take you on adventures, like a ride across the Willamette River on the historic CANBY Ferry, or a trip up the iconic elevator in Oregon City, where an incredible view awaits you at the top.
We got to ride that big elevator too.
How was that?
That was really fun.
And it doesn't matter how old or young or big or small you are.
Because I'm small, I could find the one that was hidden in the grass behind the fence.
But the very best part about geocaching in Clackamas County is that it's a low-cost way of exploring and learning while having lots of fun.
I definitely think we'll be doing a lot more geocaching as a family because it's a great way to get out for 3 or 4 hours together, just being outside in nature, and just the whole aspect of having the excitement of the hunt is so fun for us. The fact that it doesn't cost anything to do it, that's great too.
When you log onto the Mount Hood Territory website, it will tell you which caches in the county are active and if a city is out of coins. Clackamas County Cache Challenges do not run all year long, so be sure to check the website before you head out. Because geocaching is a worldwide activity, when you become a cacher, you make a connection with other cachers around the globe. This common interest is the thread that brings geocachers near and far together at gatherings. You don't have to look hard to find out what this group has in common. They are all geocachers. Some new at it, others have cached since the beginning. Some retired, others are in kindergarten, but they are all here for the same reason.
Geocaching.
That's geocaching. Daniel and his wife came all the way from Sweden to geocache in Beaver Creek.
This is a nice place to visit if you're a real geocacher, I think.
They came here to celebrate geocaching in the place where it all began. And while they're here, they turn to the geocaching message boards to create a gathering in Clackamas County.
You never know where you come to. You find beautiful places around the world, and you can meet some new friends. And we have a small event here today, so I have never met these people before, but we are like friends. We all have the same interest in geocaching, so it's wonderful.
This is the very first gathering for new geocachers Jeff and Jennifer Weber.
Oh, just so boring. And then I went and get my first one myself, and it's like, oh, I like this.
The Crams are a retired couple who love to travel and geocache.
And it's all ages. Both our boys are, we have 2 boys, and our grandson is 4 now, one of them, and one's 2, and the 4-year-old just loves it.
Little Terrian couldn't agree more. He enjoys geocaching with his mother.
Go out once a week, every Sunday almost, and just have an adventure, discover new parks, new roads. It's something I've told him, going, here's a new park, and he's learned from other people of that's what geocaching does. It takes us to new places that we've never been before, lots of fun things. He enjoys it to the point where his kindergarten teacher said they were doing presentations and they needed parent volunteers to give a quick 20-minute presentation on something they're an expert about. And he instantly said, Mom, geocaching!
He really wanted to go out with us, just like my teacher wanted to go out. But some of the kids have found like 7 caches or more or less.
He shares half a hard necklace with his mother, which also happens to be a geocaching trackable. Daniel also brought trackable coins with him all the way from Sweden.
Unlike the cache swag that are the small toy items that you're allowed to trade in a cache. A trackable isn't meant for trade. It's meant to move. The whole goal of those trackable is to move from cache to cache to cache. And so when you find one, it has a number on it. You can take it, but then you have to log that you've taken it. Now it shows up in your possession. And then your job as a cacher is to move that trackable to another location.
Those coins have already traveled from Sweden to Oregon. These lucky winners will decide where they will journey next.
The first one is PDX Rose. Thank you.
After exchanging coins and meeting friends new and old, these gatherers decide it's time to hit some nearby geocaches.
One thing you have to remember is when you go somewhere, you don't know the cool spots, the ins and outs of a city or the ins and outs of an area that's out in the wilderness, but the locals do. And those locals place caches there. So you end up finding places that you wouldn't otherwise find. There might be in a guidebook, they might be on a website, just by geocaching, and you learn of beautiful hikes, beautiful waterfalls, neat geologic formations, interesting history about a community.
How many amazing new places are waiting for you just outside your front door or on your next vacation? It's never too late to start. All you have to do is download the geocaching app, and these little green dots are your guide to adventure.